kwenye Nipashe wikendi na ujisikie uko nyumbani.
Naam, nishafika nyumbani, maana nasema ukiona gazeti limechanwa jua lishasomwa, na daima ukiona zinduna na habari papo.
In the previous episode, we discussed the strengths of the CBC, highlighting its diverse range of educational experiences, its focus on building core competencies, and its ability to promote flexibility and specialization, offering opportunities for students to pursue areas of interest and passion. In today's show, we want to focus on transition and assessment, demystifying all facts and information that have been confusing you.
It's now boys, cut properly, good.
Transitioning through the competency-based curriculum involves several key milestones. A child typically begins their educational journey in preschool at the age of 4, spending 2 years in pre-primary 1 and pre-primary 2, also known as PP1 and PP2 respectively.
The competence-based curriculum begins up at the lowest level. We have what we call the early years of learning, where the learners will be expected to join pre-primary 1 at the age of 4 years. Then they go into pre-primary 2 at the age of 5 years. This is what replaces what you originally used to call ECDE. Or the so-called nursery, the pre-care, pre-kind and so on. We expect to have 2 years of pre-primary 1 and pre-primary 2.
In CBC we have, the structure is done in 3 phases. The first phase is called early year education. Early years education is comprised of pre-primary.
So pre-primary?
And then lower primary.
Pre-primary, then lower primary.
Yes.
To progress to lower primary, that is grade 1, 2 and 3, the learner undergoes an internal examination at the end of PP2.
Lower primary is grade 1, grade 2 and grade 3.
That ends
so
lower
5
primary.
years. So 5 years is early year education.
EYE.
Similarly, to advance from lower primary to upper primary, that is grade 4, 5 and 6, students sit the Kenya Early Year Assessment, famously known as KEA, at the end of grade 3.
Our water is being affected by the line of the equator. When we cross northern ends of the equator line, 10 meters away from 0 degrees of the equator, then
middle constitutes of upper primary, which is grade 4, grade 5 and grade 6.
At grade 6, students take the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment, known also as KPSEA, before transitioning to junior school. It is important to note that KPSEA exams constitute 40% of the total marks needed for pathway placements, with the remaining 60% depending on authentic tasks and other ministry-ordered assessments conducted from grade 1.
meters away, 10 meters, so that we can see.
Therefore, vigilance from teachers, learners and parents is crucial to avoid learners joining wrong pathways due to lack of knowledge later in senior school. Learners requiring specialized curriculum areas such as those with intellectual disabilities or autism begin at the foundation level with tailored learning areas encompassing communication, sensory integration, numeracy and mobility skills. Students with special needs sit for the Kenya Intermediate Level Education Assessment, known as KILEA, in grade 6. This exam consists of 4 papers covering various subjects including communication, social and literacy skills, daily living skills and religious education, numeracy, environmental and psychomotor activities, and sensory motor integration and creative activities. Due to the nature of the assessment, materials for the exams need to be improvised or sourced from the school environment. After the exams, teachers score the learners and upload the outcomes onto the KILEA portal, where Kenya National Examination Council, also known as NEC, compiles the results. Previously, junior secondary was intended to be domiciled within secondary schools. However, recommendations from the Presidential Working Commission on Education led to grade 7, 8 and 9 remaining in primary school renamed as junior school, adopting a comprehensive school system, merging pre-primary, primary and junior schools into one institution.
No weights. You see? Except if you do that, everything is normal. So that? No moving, no rotation. That force is called Coriolis. Thank you very much for the.
As a psychologist, we saw it that when a learner reaches grade 6, he's already exhausted. There needs to be a break. You know, they are thinking of being in a primary for 8 years. And when we did comparative education, we realized that many countries, they break them.
Right.
Because that break makes a difference than all 8 years. So when they grade 6, there's a lot of worn out. And some of the researches that had been done, there was a lot of dropout in grade 6 more than any other grade in the primary level.
Because of the burnout.
Because of the burnout. Okay?
Despite the intention to reduce the time spent in each level of learning, CBC extends the primary school journey by a year compared to the 844 system. This raises concerns about potential dropout rates, reminiscent of historical trends seen in previous education systems. At the end of junior school, that is grades 7, 8 and 9, students sit for the Kenya Middle Year Assessment, also known as KEMIA, to progress to senior school.
The second one is called middle year.
Middle year.
Education years. The middle year now is the upper primary and junior secondary.
The upper primary, they join into junior secondary. Junior secondary will be the grade 7, grade 8 and grade 9.
In an effort to streamline the basic education curriculum and minimize redundancy, adjustments have been made to the learning areas across different levels as proposed by the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms. Lower primary will now feature 7 learning areas down from 9, while upper primary will have 8 instead of 10 learning areas. In junior secondary schools, the number of subjects has been reduced from 14 to 9, focusing on core subjects like English, Kiswahili or Kenya Sign Language, mathematics, and religious education.
In order to make sure that the necessary required infrastructural development in our schools is done in readiness for admission of the grade 9, which will be domiciled in the existing primary schools. And I want to emphasize on that point.
Integration of subjects has occurred with integrated science and health education merging into integrated science, and social studies and life skills combining into one area named social studies. Agriculture and home science have converged into agriculture and nutrition, with some home science aspects incorporated into other areas. Pre-technical studies will encompass previous subjects like pre-technical studies, computer and business studies, while physical education, sports, visual and performing arts will merge into creative arts.
The clarification that I'm seeking, Mr. Speaker, is will we have specific schools offering specific pathways, or all schools at grade 10 will offer all the 3 pathways?
There are no optional learning areas in junior secondary school, with total lessons per week reduced to 41. Upper primary retains 6 unchanged learning areas, with minor adjustments to lesson frequency, reducing from 40 to 35 per week, including the Pastoral Instruction Program, PPI.
The CBC. By the way, you go to some of the countries in the West, the issues of these electric problems in the house, you don't have to call an engineer or a technician to come and do that, putting a bulb.
Grade 1 to 3 will now cover 7 learning areas, including English, Kiswahili or Kenya Sign Language, mathematics, religious education, indigenous language, creative activities, formerly movement and creative activities, and environmental activities, incorporating former environmental activities, hygiene and nutrition. These changes, effective January 2024, aim to optimize the curriculum structure. Ongoing efforts to rationalize senior school learning areas will adhere to the recommendation of not exceeding 7 areas as proposed by the Presidential Working Party on Education Reform. With the new adjustments on the learning areas, begs the question, what extent of this work have been incorporated and which ones have been churned out? Additionally, on skill-based learning areas like creative arts and sports, can a teacher who is specialized in physical education teach the aspects of art, craft, or performing arts that have since been merged in? Finally, can a teacher, for instance, who is not proficient in computer studies, teach pre-technical studies? Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to help us grow together. Press the notification bell to get updates on new contents. I leave you with an African proverb that says, the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. I've been your host, Otieno Mjomba, and this is Pathway to Success, Paukwa Podcast.